I wanted to do a video of this shelf in particular because it gives you a good idea of just how creative you can be with stacking things inside the kiln carefully. So these are spoon rests with fiddlehead stamps that I made myself. You'll see a lot of these in this firing. These are stamps that I made from actual ferns that I picked. And then these ones are stamps that I carved myself. This is soap dispenser, and it is glazed in the ceramic shop's jewelry glaze, which is quite pretty when it behaves. It does not always behave. This one was a little experiment. I had some underglaze left from something else I was doing, so I threw that on underneath and then put the jewelry glaze on top. This is another soap dispenser, and this one I made with a fern that I picked from the trail by my house and put that on there and then sponged underglaze over top and then glazed it with Amaco's wasabi celadon. And this is sponged, so it's got a deliberately uneven texture to it. And a spoon rest in indigo float. And these are some pendants. I'm just playing with some different ideas and styles. Pendants. So I'll take these all off and then we'll have a look at them. That one stuck a little bit. Oops. The danger of doing these over top of the kiln. So this is another stamp like on the spoon rest, and this was another fern like the soap dish. And two more of the fern ones. This one kind of went a little wonky. It's interesting. This is underglaze with cerulean celadon glaze from Spectrum over top. And this one is as well. Now, why I got different colors from those two underglazes, I don't know. They were probably different underglazes. Maybe that was black. I don't know. I don't remember, and I'm quite certain I didn't take any notes. I do like this one, though. That turned out really nicely. And this is Amaco's Blue Stone glaze, which I really like. And all of that was fired to... Looks like it's missing part of its cone, so I don't know what that means. If it would have bent more if it had the thing on, or if it was just a 5.5. We'll see what the other shelves have to say. Those are still pretty toasty. Nope. I'm gonna have to wait. We'll have to come back tomorrow and finish the unloading. So I did open the kiln last night because, of course, I couldn't resist having a peek, and just making sure my microphone is on. And I pulled these two guys out. They're part of something I'm working on, prototyping. Anyway, there will be a separate video on these, but I did pull these two out. This one needs a refire. It's got some pinholes. You can see that. Maybe. There we go. Anyway, it does have some pinholes. This is Spectrum Sangria. Usually it does really well on the stoneware, but I get some pinholes this time. The kiln did not get up to temperature. The cone on this next shelf looks the same as that one. So it underfired a little bit, and maybe that has something to do with the pinholes. Anyway, we'll pop this one back in and see how it goes. We've got a couple more glazed in the ceramic shop's jewelry glaze. This one has, I think, clear on the inside, Pottery Supply House. If memory serves, I put some alumina hydrate on the bottom of this one. Cute. There we go. And I have a mug also glazed in the jewelry glaze. That turned out really nicely. Hopefully it survives the shock test. I try to make sure that every glaze combination, or especially these textured mugs, sometimes there are cracks or weak spots that you just can't see. So I'll put it in the freezer and then put it in the sink and pour some boiling water into it, and hopefully it survives. Fingers crossed, because it's a lovely mug. It's nice and light. Pleased with that one. And a little ramen bowl glazed in Coyote's amethyst glaze. That's pretty. With the amethyst glaze, I deliberately apply it unevenly, so you get these lovely little lines of the lighter color. And again, this underfired. It was supposed to come to a full cone 6. It underfired a little bit, but it looks great. And a mug with Amaco's Indigo Float. So this was deliberately patchy on the outside. It is, I think it was 2 coats with some extra splotches. Again, because I wanted that variation, the kind of greenish and then the lighter blue. I will say this technique works a little bit better on a red clay. I think just the green parts just look better with the red clay behind them. Anyway, the inside I poured, and so that's nice and thick in that pretty periwinkle mauve kind of color. Again, a lovely mug. And another spoon rest. There's still a little bit of warmth on this. Okay, I have a couple of tests here that I did. I was testing different blue and green combos because it's a color combination that I really like. So this one is, and they were porcelain, so I put alumina hydrate on the bottom. This one is jewelry with wasabi. So that's a nice pastel-y combo. I will say that there doesn't seem to be much running or combining happening there. So it's nice if you want a nice defined line, which wasn't quite what I was going for. And then this one was a throwaway. It's a big crack in the bottom. This is Laguna Power Turquoise over Wasabi. And I like that, but I wonder if Amaco's Pear Celadon might actually be a better combo for this. And 2 Power Turquoise bowls. They both turned out very nicely. This one has a little bit of pinholing, but I think just down there on the bottom, the inside looks really good. So that's okay. And this, you can see where I dipped it. You can actually see where it overlaps and is a little thicker, which is interesting. So I might try actually adding some water to this glaze, lowering the specific gravity a little bit, because this kind of bluey green that comes through is quite pretty. And here's another tester I did because I was curious to see what Laguna Power Turquoise looks like with copper float from Mayco, and I really like that. That is sharp. So this is where it was overlapped, of course. And I think I did 4 coats. Nice heavy application of the copper float. Didn't get any of those crystals, so probably could have used 5 coats. But still really, really pretty and shiny, which is what I was after. But it's good to know that where they overlap kind of goes that dull brown color. So I would next time minimize that overlap, I think. And so here we've got a full cone 6. So this is the second to bottom, which is interesting because last time around, the bottom underfired and the top overfired. So I don't know what the heck's going on. Anyway, we'll get there. Still new. Still a new kiln. I suspect that what's going on has to do with how densely the kiln is loaded, and I'm going to take the camera off and show you here in a minute that I had a layer of spoon rests in here. So there were actually like 2 fairly short shelves together, so it was more densely packed toward the bottom. So here is the bottom shelf, which is all spoon rests. And as you can see, sorry for the shaky handheld cam, as you can see, I just had a short little, what's this called? Kiln shelf. No, kiln post. Yeah, that's it. Don't get old, kids. Short little kiln post. And yeah, so it's the first time that I fired like that, but it seemed to work out fine. None of these look under fired except for this guy. And as you can see, I forgot to put a cone on this shelf, but I wasn't unpacking everything to get at it. So it will remain a mystery, but I think this copper float. Okay, you're back on the tripod now. I think the nice thing about copper float is that it really does tell the tale without cones. This clearly was a underfired shelf because I would have gotten more sparkle if it had been overfired shelf. So this is still very pretty as a spoon rest. I'm not disappointed with this at all, but it is interesting how challenging it is to get a kiln to fire the way you want it to. It seems like it would be simple, but not so much. Okay, and we have a couple of Power Turquoise spoon rests, both lovely. And for the spoon rests, I poured glaze onto pretty much all of them. And then if it kind of made a decent line around here, I left it. And if it didn't, then I very carefully held on to the edges and dipped the edge. So I've got a combination of both. I like to have them all different so that they're all unique and people can choose the one that makes them happy. This is the Ceramic Shop's Jewelry Glaze. Same method, poured and dipped. This is Indigo Float, which was brushed because that is a brush-on glaze. And I wanted this variation. I didn't want it to be that uniform periwinkle color. And the last two spoon rests. Nice big one here. Again, Amaco Wasabi, same deal, poured, dipped. I did fill in on these ones some little finger marks, probably over here. So you can see, yeah, you can see it's a little wobblier over here. I think if I waxed the bottom, I could just dip the whole thing, but it's a lot of wax and it's extra time. So I'm trying to streamline this process a bit, but still get a product that I'm happy with. So, and here's a little baby spoon rest. This was brushed. This is Sangria. And there you have it. Most of these items, let's see here, I'll take you over here. Now I want to be super clear that you should not use the top of your kiln for a shelf. Just don't do that. Don't do what I do. Disaster awaits. Most of these pots will be for sale at the Queen Square Fine Craft Festival, October 18th in St. John, New Brunswick. So if you're a local New Brunswicker and you're liking any of these pots, stop by and say hello and grab one all for yourself. Thanks for watching.